Hey y'all, it's your boy Samante, and I'm here talking about life after doing 20 years in prison. This is a new series that I'm gonna start where I go in more depths about my life inside of prison and most importantly, what I've been doing outside of a prison. And foremost, I want to give y'all a platform to be able to ask me questions because I know there's a lot of curiosity about the life behind bars. Maybe you have a loved one that's gone through the same thing, or maybe you have somebody going down the wrong path and you want to find out ideas on how to stop that from happening. I guess if we're going to start a new series, I guess the number one thing maybe I should start with is maybe how the hell did I go to prison? So it all started one day. My mom called me up and she's crying, hysterical. Steven, detectives came to the house. They came knocking on the door. They want to talk to you. They're looking for you. I'm on the jack like, Mom, calm down. Wait, calm down. What's going on? She's telling me hysterically, which is hard to understand. She's telling me that the detectives are there telling her they need to speak to me about an armed robbery that they think that I was involved in. So of course I'm like, what? So the first thing I asked my mom is like, are they still there? She tells me, no, they left, but they left a card. So I told my mom, I said, okay, hold on, Mom. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'm going to come holler at you. We're going to discuss this. We're going to find out what's really going on. Now, mind you, I wasn't a perfect angel, and I'll never claim that I was. But I do know at this time frame, I hadn't done anything bad enough to go to prison in a while. So I had this type of confidence, but I was curious. I was scared. I needed to know what was going on. So I went to my mom's house. She gave me the card. I sat there, contemplated, should I call the detectives? And we'll get into something like this a little bit later, but here's what my dumbass did. Yes, I ended up calling the detectives to find out what was going on, and what I should have did at first was lawyer up. Never speak to the detectives without proper counsel guiding you. Now, with that being said, my dumbass called the detectives without a lawyer, asked them what's going on. Of course, they're on the phone, they're acting as friendly as they can be, and we'll get more into depth about this later on in this lesson. Cops are deceiving, they have tricks, they know every trick of every trade. They act like they're the good guys, but they're really trying to trick you up. And did they trick me up? They tricked me the fuck up. And now, just a reminder, just remember now, I was 21 years old, because I know a lot of people probably listening to this like, this dumb motherfucker. Yeah, I was dumb, but I was also young. So, mind you, I was gullible. And of course, I'm kind of cocky on the phone. I feel like they don't have anything on me. I'm asking the detectives what they want. They're asking me, hey, we just like to talk to you for a little bit. Is there somewhere we meet? We don't even have to come down to the police station. We'll meet you somewhere. Now, I didn't want them coming back to my mom's house. She was already hysterical, and me and her were never really on great terms, so I didn't want the detectives to come back there to discuss. So I was like, maybe we can discuss it somewhere else. They said, where? I said, I don't know. I didn't want to bring them to my house. They said, well, look, there's a gas station on the corner, open space. You know, we're out in the public. We can speak right there. Nothing's going to happen. I said, sure, I'll meet you there. What time? They said, we could be there in 5 minutes. I said, so can I? And I met them on the corner store on Rosemount and Holland. I believe it used to be a 7-Eleven, but now it's a Soap and Bubbles, a laundromat. By the way, when you go to wait for prison for a long time and you get back out, things are not the same places, new stores. Yeah, you get the gist of it. Now, here comes another part where I was gullible. I chose to meet them at the gas station. And we get there, and the first thing they want to do is immediately put me in handcuffs and put me in the back of the car and say, we want to talk to you down at the station. Of course, I'm freaking out now. I'm basically being arrested. They're like, no, you're not being arrested. We're only handcuffing you for, our protection and your protection. This is just regular format. Don't worry about it. We're just going to speak to you down at the detective's office quarters, whatever the fuck they call it. And it's good. Don't worry about anything. And of course, I'm like, all right, but of course I was nervous as fuck. I always look back on this. I'm like, man, I was a dumb motherfucker, man. But anyway, we'll get back to that later. And the whole time we're driving, they're acting like they're my friends. They're just trying to talk to me. They're like, hey, don't worry about it. It could be a misunderstanding. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We just want to talk to you. And of course, I'm like, all right, that's what's up. So we pull up, we get to detective headquarters, they get me out, and the first thing they do is bring me to another 48 hours speaking room, where they interrogation room. Jeez, Lord, my vocabulary is terrible. So they have me into the interrogation room for about 30 minutes. It's ice cold up in there. Nobody's come to talk to me. Nobody's telling me what's going on. I'm sitting there in my deep thoughts. They're probably watching me on video, but I don't know. I'm dumb. I'm a young kid. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just going with the flow. So long story short, and it's a very long story, and I'm gonna keep it short right now, but we can get into this a whole lot better later. The detectives finally come in. They come in, bring a lot of photos of gentlemen that look just like me. And now when I'm saying they're showing pictures of gentlemen that look like me, I'm talking tan skin. At the time I had a goatee, mustache. I had hair at the time, believe it or not. And everybody in this picture looked like they could have been related to me, either brother, cousin. It even had me in all, like, Jesus, I got all these doppelgangers out here and stuff. And all this writing was next to each person's picture and stuff. And I saw my picture, and there was just one little check mark in somebody's name. I don't even remember reading it, whatever. So now the detective, whatever his name is, he's telling me that somebody's business that was robbed pointed my picture out, which is crazy because I'm like, why would you even have my picture there in the first place? But that's another thing. And they said, well, somebody identified me as being at the place of the crime, and I'm the one that robbed them. And just a reminder, none of this shit should have been talked about anyways, because I was supposed to have a lawyer right there, but my dumbass didn't even ask for a lawyer. I'm just going with the flow because I'm thinking I'm innocent. What the hell could happen? So of course they're asking me a lot of questions that I don't have the answers for. I'm cocky in there because I'm thinking they have nothing on me. You're telling me somebody saw me at the scene of the crime. I'm like, okay, whatever. I have faith in the justice system. I'm like, evidence is not gonna say I was there. I have faith. I didn't do the crime. I'm not gonna get in trouble. So I'm being as cocky as I can be. Again, no lawyer. I'm a dumbass. Now with that being said, they're telling me now they have enough evidence to book me, put me in jail, and now I got to go to a preliminary hearing. So I have to say I didn't get to go home that night. And now that's when shit got real. That's when shit got real. That's when I knew this shit was for real. So now they booked me up, processed me, put me in the orange clothes that was freaking me out. I'm in a cold cell by myself. They're telling me I got to go to general population. Mind you, I've never really been to jail in my life like that, let alone have to stay the night. So now I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, I don't know what the jail world's like. So now I'm young, I'm a kid. I ain't got no allies in there. I got to go do this by myself. I'm freaking the fuck out. I want to get on the phone. I want to call mommy. I want to call daddy. I want to call anybody that will fucking listen just to get me the fuck out of this stinking ass jail. And that was the start of my life of 20 years in prison. And I'm going to end that right there. And I will take any questions and we will go more in depth because there's way more to the story. And we'll continue to finish this story. I hope you enjoyed just the first part of it. I'm a little sloppy at this because I'm not really great at telling my own personal story through dialogue, but I'm going to get used to this. And any questions or any help or any advice, or if you want any advice, hit it in the comments. I will answer everybody's comment. And maybe one time your comment will make a whole video about it. And this is your boy Samante. Life after doing 20 years in prison.